A new report shows tourism is down about 8% in California, and it's impacting tourism hotspots like Hollywood Boulevard.
California is one of the world's biggest economies, but we are taking a hit right now with international tourism.
California has always presented itself as the dream destination. Endless sunshine, redwood forests, movie sets, and beaches that seem to go on forever. But in 2025, that dream is cracking. For the first time since the pandemic, California is losing visitors. Official reports show an overall decline in visitors this year. But the real problem is who's leaving. International visitors, the people who spend the most money, are down almost 10%. And some key groups, like Canadians and Mexicans, are disappearing even faster. In March, arrivals from Canada fell more than 15% compared to last year. Mexico, down over 20%. Flights into California's major airports dropped by nearly 1/10 overall. That means fewer hotel nights, fewer restaurant bills, and billions in lost spending. For small businesses that depend on tourism, it's a gut punch. The reasons go far beyond weather or inflation. The US dollar is strong right now, making every California vacation feel more expensive for foreign travelers. Add in higher airfare, rising hotel rates, and wildfire insurance costs, and you've got sticker shock before people even land. Then there's the politics. International coverage of new tariffs, visa disputes, and tense rhetoric between Washington and allies like Canada hasn't helped. Many Canadians say they simply don't feel as welcome as they used to. For years, they were among the most loyal tourists in the state. Now, they're booking trips to Mexico, Portugal, or the Caribbean instead. It's cheaper, easier, and the exchange rate doesn't sting. Even when people want to visit, the headlines work against California. Stories of wildfires, crime, and homelessness dominate search results. Travelers looking at Hollywood Boulevard or downtown San Francisco on TikTok often see empty sidewalks and boarded-up storefronts. Whether or not those snapshots show the full reality, they shape global perception. And perception drives travel choices. All these forces hit the people who built their lives around visitors. Marisol knows this firsthand. She runs a 20-room boutique hotel near Santa Monica Beach. For years, she catered mostly to international guests, Canadians escaping the winter, families from Europe, and business travelers from Asia. She designed her rooms with personal touches, offered free bicycles for guests, and built long-term relationships with travel agents overseas. In early 2025, those bookings started to vanish. At first, she thought it was a seasonal dip. Then came the cancellations. Week by week, her calendar emptied. By summer, she was running less than half full. She laid off 2 employees, cut her breakfast service, and even shut down her rooftop patio to save on costs. She told a local paper that she used to feel proud seeing guests from all over the world gather in her lobby. Now, most days, it's quiet enough to hear the elevator bell echo down the hall. Marisol's story captures what the numbers can't. California's tourism slump isn't just statistics on a spreadsheet. It's the slow erosion of small dreams. And she's not alone. Across Los Angeles and San Francisco, hotels, souvenir shops, and restaurants are reporting the same thing. In Hollywood, foot traffic has fallen sharply. Store owners who once served hundreds of visitors a day are lucky to see a few dozen. Some are raising prices to cover losses, but that only scares off more customers. It's a vicious loop. The pain spreads far beyond city centers. Wine country, ski towns, and desert resorts are feeling it too. Carlos and May run a small vineyard in Napa Valley. They started 5 years ago with a vision of creating intimate wine tasting dinners for travelers who wanted something authentic. Half their guests came from abroad, people who would buy bottles to ship home and stay overnight in nearby inns. In 2024, business was booming. In 2025, international visits dropped to almost nothing. Shipments overseas dried up. Their high-end tastings, once booked months in advance, had empty tables. Carlos said the hardest part wasn't the money, it was watching the energy disappear. Our guests used to tell us this was the highlight of their trip, he said. Now we spend whole afternoons waiting for someone to walk in. The collapse of foreign travel is hitting California where it hurts most, in the high-value spending that supports jobs and public revenue. International visitors stay longer and spend almost twice as much per day as domestic tourists. They fill hotels, eat at fine restaurants, hire tour guides, and buy from local artisans. When they vanish, the ripple effect touches everyone, from taxi drivers to city tax offices. Even domestic travel, which has stayed relatively stable, isn't enough to plug the hole. Americans still visit California, but they're choosing shorter trips and cheaper stays. Rising costs for gas, food, and lodging are pushing many families to vacation closer to home. That leaves California's travel industry chasing smaller margins on every guest. The political side adds another layer. State officials have tried to downplay the problem, pointing to the overall stability of domestic tourism. But local business owners say the pain is obvious. Some believe federal policies and rhetoric have scared away loyal markets like Canada. Others blame state-level costs, high taxes, high insurance premiums, and a shortage of affordable hospitality workers. Wildfires have also damaged both infrastructure and reputation. Every time flames break out near a major park or coastal town, bookings crash almost instantly. Even if the fire is hundreds of miles away, international travelers often can't tell the difference. To them, California is burning becomes the headline, and they stay away. So can the Golden State recover? Maybe, but it won't be easy. Experts say the fix starts with perception. California needs to remind the world that it's still open, still beautiful, and still safe to visit. Some local tourism boards are already running campaigns aimed directly at Canadians and Europeans, offering discounts and reassuring messages. But marketing only works if the underlying issues are addressed. Travelers need confidence that flights will be affordable, their safety won't be at risk, and the welcome mat is real, not just a slogan. At the same time, the state may need to rethink its dependence on foreign travelers altogether. Diversifying tourism could mean developing inland attractions, small-town experiences, and regional road trips that appeal more to domestic visitors. That's already happening in parts of the Central Valley and the desert regions, where towns are promoting local food, art, and nature instead of relying solely on international guests. But there's no quick fix. Tourism is built on trust, and trust takes years to rebuild once it's lost. The world has options now. Destinations like Portugal, Mexico, and the Caribbean are offering similar sunshine and scenery for less money and less hassle. Once travelers find new favorites, they rarely go back to old habits. California's challenge is to remind the world why it mattered in the first place. The beaches are still here. The mountains still rise. The wine still tastes incredible. What's missing is the connection, the sense that this place wants you to come, not just to spend. For Marisol, Carlos, and thousands of others, recovery can't come soon enough. They've built their lives on the belief that California will always draw the world in. Now, they're waiting to see if the world will return. The Golden State's story isn't over, but it's in a fragile chapter. If 2025 marks the beginning of a correction, it could also be a turning point, a chance to rebuild smarter, fairer, and more resilient than before. Because if California wants to stay the world's dream destination, it has to start acting like one again.